My name is Dieglo. My artist name is Dieglo. Dieglo. I'm a 26-year-old artist from Rockville, Maryland. I am a multimedia creative. I'm a painter. I'm a designer. I just art. That's all I do.
I love that.
But yeah, I come from my mom. My mom was like a painter, so she would kind of put everything in front of me. But yeah, I'm here about 9 years in, and
that's amazing.
I think my life started when I started doing art. So
because I was watching another interview you did, and you spoke on how your mom and your dad were both creatives.
Yes.
I was wondering, were they like creatives just for fun or by profession? Like
no, just
how?
For fun. Just for fun.
So with that being said, because my experience as an artist is like in my family, like it was always looked at like that's just the most impractical thing you could possibly want to do. What is your problem? Like go to college or go to the military or you're doomed. Like that was more or less the energy. So with your parents being more creative, although not professional, were they like encouraging you to be a full-time artist, or were they like kind of scared about that?
To an extent. I feel like each one had their own pieces of it they enjoyed. They each both my mom and dad had things that they were comfortable with of me being an artist. But it was also something that they're also immigrants, so they didn't come from their countries for their son to be like an artist. Like they wanted to be like a fucking doctor,
lawyer, or something. So, same old story.
And that being said, because they also had this creative side to them, it wasn't something that they really wanted me to do. My dad was a little bit more understanding about it, but it was one of those things that, like, as the years went on, as I started to work more in the art community, the creative community, my mom started to come to the shows, and she would see like, I started my first shows in my backyard. It was like 20 people.
Yep.
Now she'll go to my shows and there's like 100 people there just to see my work.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it's just like it's super. I could tell that she's starting to get way more comfortable with it, and she could see like, I didn't have any money yesterday. Boom, I sold a painting today. Now I'm over here like, and that's the thing, because like
it's inconsistent.
Art sales are so weird. So it's just like you can sell a big painting one day, or you can just do a little logo commission. So it's just like she sees that's the only thing that worries her now. Is the
consistency. Yeah.
But for the most part, she sees that my work allows me to travel. I made a lot of cool friends, like things like that. So so for the most part, they're very supportive of it. But it took some time. It definitely took some time for them to like, like, is this really what you want to do? Like, you sure?
Like, you sure you want to just do it for fun?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But they're cool about it now. There's a tag that being an artist has, So it's just like, I feel like, I think the word is stigma. There's like a stigma. For artists. So it's just like.
It's the starving artist.
Yeah, starving artists. Like like. They're over here struggling, so it's just like, and don't get me wrong, like, I definitely struggle with my art all the time, but it's like, I think it's part of it. That comes with any job, doesn't it?
And it's all like I bet the level of inconsistency you're at now is not as inconsistent as it was 3 years ago or whatever. Like, it progresses, and the more people you meet, and the way you have that networking attitude and communal like attitude, it's just gonna build. Like, of course, everything you do relies on community and relies on people to support you. We can't do shit by ourselves.
No, I'm nothing with that. Like, don't get me wrong, my art definitely, it makes me, but my art is nothing without everyone else around it. Like, it's one thing for me to just put my artwork up, outside on like the street, but it's another thing when there's fucking 30, 40 people wrapped around it. Now that calls more people. That calls more people. That calls more people.
Do you have any cheat code, so to speak, for like the full-time freelance artist?
Hell yeah.
Give me some cheat codes. What's up?
Cheat codes, as an artist, you know, in this industry, like we were talking about earlier, I feel like a lot of people stick to one specific, whether it's a medium, or it's the crowd that they're comfortable with, or, you know, just working on, like, don't just be a painter. That's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I love paintings. I love painting. Right over here, I have a fucking jacket. So
right. Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
just like, you know, and then right over here, I have my airbrush machine. So it's just like, if you stick to one thing, don't get me wrong, that's fine. But it's just like, now you're just like a spider with one fucking leg. Like, it's just like, you need like as many legs as you can. So it's just like, I'm just
That's a great analogy.
I'm a spider with like fucking 15, 16 different arms.
Period.
So it's just like, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't, you know, they think that because like, oh, I've never worked with, you know, oils, so I'm only gonna stick to acrylic. It's just like, nah, go fuck up some oils, go spend some
you gotta
money.
play in it first.
Like, look,
you gotta be bad at it
there's
first.
fucking styrofoam on this painting. Like, this is caulking. Like,
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, there's no reason, and I'm not saying that, oh, because I put caulking on a fucking painting, it's gonna go in a different lane.
It's just the experimental.
But that's the
energy.
thing.
Yes.
Right. Someone had me paint a dumbbell for them, like dumbbells and weights. I remember that because I did that, I had someone that went to a gym who then saw a mural I did. Like, it was just like, it was little things like
all
that.
All the things connect.
I never thought that when I painted on a dumbbell. You know, fast forward, now I'm doing a mural at a gym, like Dieglo, and I don't even go to the gym, so it's just like,
like
why the fuck is my art?
Thing.
Yeah, find a way to like involve more people, you know, more creatives, more of something, you know. So
yeah, I feel like, and the term like a medium, like is the medium is not the thing. Like, the medium is the way you're communicating at the end of the day. So like, you can still be true to yourself in your art and use 50 different mediums to communicate it, you know, because someone's going to relate to everything differently, you know, like someone might be this big wig art collector and wants to drop $500,000 on this. You know, some people have that. Some people want to buy a $35 t-shirt. Some people want to buy a little book or, you know, like a collection, something like, and everyone wants to support, and not everybody has the big bucks to like just get big canvases. So I think it's really important that you
you have to be versatile. You know, your price range, it can't be like just here, because if it's just here, like, good luck on getting the people that can only afford the just here price range, you know. So I got shit that I go from $25 all the way to $16,000, $17,000. So it's just like, you know, where you want to spend your money at? You want to go up?
That's
you want to go
beautiful,
down?
and that's the true spirit of art. Like, art is for everybody. Art is not just for the upper echelon, you know.
Don't get me wrong. I respect high priced art, but I also have to be realistic with myself. Like, hell yeah, don't get me wrong. I wish I could sell this for $500,000. Where am I gonna find someone with $500,000? Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but why let this collect dust and sit when I'm gonna paint something out? When I finish this, I'm just gonna add it to my pile of work. Like,
and whoever's home or office or whatever this ends up in, for however much you sell it in, maybe someone who's gonna drop that $500,000 sees it there,
of course,
and then is like, who is this artist?
And you know, that's the part that I'm excited about, because, you know, shit. 9 years ago, 8 years ago, even 5 years ago, I would have never thought that I'm selling some of my pieces for the amount that I'm selling them. So it's like, I'm excited that, you know, I remember like at one point when I made my first like $400 off of art, I was like, whoa, I was like, no fucking way. Like, I remember just like, I don't know what I did with the money, but I remember just like happy as hell. And it's just like, not saying that I'm not happy now. I'm not grateful for, like, you know, if I make $400 off art, but it's not. It's like,
it's a validating thing. It's like, okay, people are respecting what I do. You know,
and that's the thing. The price tag just, you know, goes up and up. And obviously, I still got, you know, like I said, I still got my $25, $30 prints, but it's just like, you know, the same way how I continue to work. You know, my price, it grows with me. So it's just like,
exactly.
You know, but
beautiful. Yeah, definitely. I think you found a good balance with, like, not undervaluing yourself,
of course,
but also not hoarding your work.
Yeah,
like, And that kind of leads into another question I was thinking about, which is like a term I guess I call the paralyzed perfectionist. I think a lot of artists, particularly like musicians, but I'm sure this goes with everything, like they'll make some great shit, right? Whatever medium that is, but it's not exactly perfect. Or like you were saying, like they're not a pro oil painter, so they don't want to release it. Or they need it to be mixed and mastered by the best of the best, so they don't want anybody to hear it until then. Like, what advice would you give to someone who is having a hard time sharing their art?
So, had a similar conversation last night. It's okay to be a perfectionist because, you know, you're the one creating it, you have the vision for it, and, you know, that vision has to be, has to meet your tier, you know, it has to look exactly how you want it to look before you present it. But at the same time, there's like, that comment, there's like a spectrum to it. It's just like, if you're doing that for every piece, and at this point, like, let's say you have thousands of pieces in your journal, but then you've only been comfortable showing people 2 or 3. At that point, like, yeah, this is just a hobby to you, or at least people think it's just. You could be working every fucking day on trying to get these pieces out, but it's just like, if you get stuck on them and you know you don't like not even show them, but if you're not comfortable just with your own work, like an artist is always gonna be like an artist is always gonna be their biggest critic, and it's just like at that point, like, you know, I found the technique of leaving my mistakes on my art. So it's like,
I love that.
I don't leave, like, my zigzags, that's my way of, like, if I do a line, I don't like it, I don't erase it, I leave it there, I do another line. And then, alright, cool, I like the second one. I just stitch them or zigzag them together. And it's just, that's where I'm leaving my mistakes. I don't own a pencil in the studio. I don't have one. So it's
no
just
erasers.
Like, and then there's also like a Bob Ross quote, and it's just like, I think it goes, I forgot, you know, if it's, which goes first, but he's like, there's no such thing as mistakes, there's only happy accidents. Or there's no such thing as accidents, happy mistakes.
I've heard that, something like that.
Yeah, so it's just like, that's true, and it's just like, I feel like, you know, like, for instance, this painting, do you know where I messed up? You don't know? Does it look like I messed up?
No.
I see it.
It all looks like it's supposed to be there.
I know where I messed up. I know what I did wrong. But it's just like, why am I gonna not show anybody this piece because I think I messed up and I don't think it's good enough? Like, no, that's at that point now this shit's just gonna collect dust and no one's ever gonna see it. So it's like, I'd much rather just, cool, I messed up. Leave it there. Next time I do another painting that looks something like this, I know what not to do. So it's just like, people forget that there's thousands of, like, if you're a painter, there's thousands of canvases that you can go buy. Like, and don't get me wrong, if it's something that, you know, you don't want to waste the canvas, you're gonna be, this one has to be perfect because you can't afford another canvas. Cool, do it on paper, do it 1,000 times on paper, but there's no point of sticking and, you know, making something perfect. Nothing is perfect.
For sure.
You know?
Your audience, at least from my perspective, or anyone's audience, like, they love to see the process. They love to see that, like, the whole, like, I used to be ass. Like, look at my first photo shoot I ever did. Oh my God. It's hilarious. Like, I was the stylist, I was the makeup artist with my little sister. It's the most cringy thing of all time. But I put it out there. And literally got hired to do, like, senior portraits off of that.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
But then it grows and it grows, and like, same thing with you. Like, you'll be able to look back at your art and then see where that goes. Like, people like to connect with the artists that they invest in. There were, like, 3 particular pieces. I don't know, you probably have more pieces like this. But it looked like it was touching base on, like, how you navigate fear in a way. Yeah, so, like, it was the one that was the king or street sweep, everyone meets the grim reaper, fear makes the wolf look bigger, and don't chase butterflies. Those all, to me at least, look like ways of handling fear, you know, because, like, everyone deals with that. So where did that come from? What does that mean to you?
So the 3 paintings, I was living in New York, and someone wanted to sublease my room for the rest of the year. So I was, I was basically, it was a bunch of backlog when I made those paintings. I ended up going to Peru for 2 months, and instead of all the money that I would have spent on rent, I spent it all on new supplies. I'm talking about everything. I got new palettes, new airbrush machine, and on top of that, the conversion rate in Peru is like $1 of our dollars is like $4 of theirs, basically.
Right. So it's way cheaper.
So I was able to do that, and it wasn't something that I got a one-way ticket. I didn't go to Peru.
No plan, yeah.
And I went to I really went to go work on myself and focus on myself, and just in general kind of rebrand Dieglo. And side note, I had also I had just started to get sober because I had a bad drinking drug problem. And whatever, long story short, when I got to Peru, there was a lot of situations that just came upon me. As an artist, it was definitely something that I had to kind of just approach head on, nose dive into the situation.
Yeah.
And the 3 paintings, they were never supposed to make sense with one another. The only connection that they had was the red background.
Right.
But
yeah.
It was something that once I finished all 3, that's when I took a step back. They were all hung up, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Comes together.
These literally I'm over here thinking that I'm making, because I had 3 ideas already. I always knew I wanted to draw the king and the street sweeper and the grim reaper.
Yeah.
I always knew I wanted to do the wolf. My favorite one was the garden, but the garden was the only one that was kind of improvised. So, but it was one of those things where it's just once I took a step back, I realized it all made sense. And that's the thing. Half of my paintings that I always create, I never know where I'm going till I finish. So I don't know what the name of the painting is. It's kind of it's all walking in unknown territory. But I realized after I finished those paintings that it was, my fear of being an artist. It was my fear of being unappreciated. It was, my fear of dying, not fulfilling my, myself, my life, to the fullest. So it's it was one of those things where it was just it was just fear in general. That whole 3 paintings was just fear. And then there's a 4th one, and the 4th one, I don't know if you saw, but it's the giant collage of myself. So it's just so it was the biggest one out of the 3.
That's crazy.
But it was a 3-headed version of me.
I feel like I have seen that.
Yeah, it was huge. And then that started the collection that I just showed, and it was called Blood In, Blood Out. So it was, the first 3 was based on fear. It was still Blood In, Blood Out. But the name of the collection started here, and it was my version of saying do you know what Blood In, Blood Out means? So Blood In, Blood Out is a gang initiation. So it's you gotta kill somebody to join the gang, and the only way that you can leave the gang is if you die. So I already put my blood into this work. I already put my blood. I have Dieglo tattooed on my head. It's stamped already. I'm there.
Yeah.
So now the only way that I'll ever stop is God forbid, you cut my limbs off, I'll start painting with my feet. You cut my feet off, I'll start painting with my my mouth. Shit like that. Shit's just you gotta really kill me for me to stop. So that was it was my way. It's a 2-part collection. So I said, the first one was fear. The second one was I'm good. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But it was it's a lot deeper than it really looked. Because and then funny thing, I was supposed to show them at my last show, and I wasn't able to because they were too big. So I couldn't bring them on the flight.
Good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah. So,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, but I go to Peru next week, so next week I'm actually gonna pick them up. And
they're in Peru?
They're in Peru, yeah.
Okay.
So I made them while I was in Peru.
Oh, so they've been there the whole time?
They've been there the whole time. No one's ever seen them.
So what are you going to do with them when you come back?
I don't know yet. They were originally supposed to be shown at my last show, but like I said, I had to improvise.
At the Still Unemployed one?
Yes, Still Unemployed.
Okay.
Yeah, so Still Unemployed. The whole show is going to be called Blood In, Blood Out. But that's why the majority of my current work right now is all red paintings.
Noted.
Yeah.
I love that. I love hearing how everything comes together.
And that's the thing, like, a lot of people notice that at Still Unemployed, a lot of the pieces were red, but there were still paintings that weren't red.
Right.
So I had to explain a brief version of this story. This is my first time actually getting to, like, aside from, like, my close friends and my family.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I never got to show the whole collection together. Since I don't like showing work more than once.
Okay.
So I probably won't show the Blood In. I think Blood In, Blood Out was just a dead project. But I still haven't shown those big pieces. So, I might just maybe show all of them. Because like I said,
are they all the same size?
Yes, they're 80 by 84. And then one is like 113 by 99, 98.
The one of you?
Yeah,
the three
That's one I don't want to sell. That one I want to keep to myself.
Yeah, I was gonna ask too. Like, do you ever fall so in love with pieces? You're like, I don't care like who bids on this. Like, I can't. Like, this is mine.
All the time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Especially when it comes to work with, I paint with my mom sometimes, and like I think that I don't know if it's that people enjoy the paintings more because it's with my mom, or if it's just that like they actually like the work. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
I think it's just her energy and my energy combined on a canvas.
I feel like you can feel that spirit.
Yeah, so
for sure.
People that was the crowd pleaser at my last show.
Which piece is it?
It was a painting I did with my mom. It's called Appreciate Your Mother. Yeah. Have you ever read the book No David No? So No David No was a book that I read when I was a kid. It's a children's book. The kid David, he's bad. He's a bad kid. He like breaks things and he's clumsy and he doesn't listen to the rules. And the entire book they're saying no, David, no. And in the cover of the book, he's like being a jokester and he's about to break a fishbowl. So my mom really likes flowers and whatever. In No David No, the background is also red. So my version of this was, instead of me being all like clumsy and about to drop the fishbowl, I'm over here praising the flower bowl or flower pot my mom made. So so it's me just kind of like looking at it from the side. But it was it was, like I said, it was a crowd pleaser. So people always like really like those paintings. But that being said, going back, I don't like selling.
So you're not. Do you think you'll ever sell that one?
If the price is right,
Yeah.
But I think, but like I've gotten offers, but it's nothing where it's just.
It's gonna have to be something.
Yeah, because like the way I think about it is just like, God forbid anything happens to my mom, I'm gonna want to buy that bitch back. So
you're like, I'm gonna need that actually.
I'm like, hey, bro, like I'll buy it double.
Or just rent it out. Be like, you can lease it, but need it back.
And the thing is that my mom, she'll like ask me, she'll be like, cause she knows. So I also have a gallery at Room 808 in Petworth. Okay. So my mom will ask me, like, we have one of the biggest paintings that we've done there, and she's like, sweetheart, like, has our painting sold yet? And I'm just like no, mom.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah, I'm like, no, mom, it hasn't yet.
But she knows people love it, right?
Yeah,
she knows.
People take pictures in front of it all the time. Like,
and you said she came to the gallery.
Yeah, so. Yeah. So she came. She came to. I had 2 viewings for Still Unemployed. She came to the private viewing. That one was like friends, family, and she was. She it was her first time seeing all my work in that setting. Yeah. I've had galleries before, but never with that much work. So like, she was excited, but everybody. And the thing is that people didn't even know. Like, there's a name on it, but people didn't know that was like.
You didn't lead with that.
Yeah. So I didn't say like, oh yeah, this is a painting of my mom. Like anybody that asks, yeah, this is a painting of my mom.
But you can tell people just gravitated,
every
like
single
regardless.
I'm talking about everybody took pictures of it.
Amazing.
People took pictures in front of it. You know, it was the one that like even when people were tagging me on like social media.
Yeah, that was just the popular.
It was the most popular one. Yeah, I include her a lot. You know, she's my everything. She's my moon. She's my sun. So I really like, I put a lot of appreciation into her in my work, especially. So
awesome.
you know, she always has her little features here and there.
Okay.
Yeah. She doesn't.
I love that.
She likes my art, but she doesn't like all the eyes and all the teeth. Yeah, it kind of creeps her out.
I bet.
Yeah,
That's funny.
We have two completely different styles of work.
That's so cool, though.
But for the most part, whenever we combine it, you know, she'll be like, well, "Why'd you do that?" And I'm like, "Mom, like it's my style." Like,
I'm an artist, Mom.
Yeah.
Literally.
But no, she's, you know, people really do enjoy the work that we do together.
That's awesome. I that just like brought me so much joy. I love to hear that. I love to hear that.
Dudes, Mama Glow.
Oh.
Yeah, my friends put that. Yeah. I didn't even put that. Like people were just like, "Yo, is that Mama Glow?" And I'm like,
I guess.
Yeah, that's Mama Glow. Yeah,
that's sick though. It has a ring to it.
Nah, hell yeah.
For sure. Okay, I wanted to actually ask you, because for the short period of time that I caught that panel, I forget the question that was asked, but you spoke about how your sobriety has just like elevated your art and your focus and clarity in general. So I'd like for you to, I'm sure you've talked about it a lot before.
Yeah.
Just
I love talking about it.
Tap in on that a little bit, and then I have a follow-up question.
Okay. Nah, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never really had a problem with anything specific. I had an abuse problem, so it was like
overindulgence.
So it was just like I would have phases like, you know, I was smoking weed at one point, then I started to drink, and then I like smoking weed and drinking, and then I got into like pills, and then I got into like coke, and it was just like one thing after another, and it was just like I used it and I turned into one of those people that I was just like, I needed to create. So it was like in my head, because I was like on speed, I would be like, oh, I'm doing 10 paintings at once right now. Like, I'm going to have a big collection in the next 3-4 days. And it was one of those things where it was just like, it was just me just being foggy. You know, it was me being, so it was just like, I have so many more pieces now that I'm sober. And it's just like, what? I'm sober off fucking clementines and water bottles. Like, so it's just like, you know, I'll dog a whole bag of halos, like little, I'll dog a whole bag of halos in a sitting. But
get going.
Yeah, but it's things like that where it's just like, once I got sober, I realized like everything that like I wanted to be as an artist, like I was only enjoying like the rock star part of it, the part where it's just like I'm going out, I'm showing face at these events,
the lifestyle.
Yeah, but it was just like, it was like, what do I have to show for it? Like, where's my bank account at? Like, you know, like, do I have health insurance? Like, shit like that, where it's just like, you know, I wasn't thinking of any of the consequences. And then it got to a point where I started to get ugly with, you know, my friends, you know, people I was involved with. Like, just little things like that where it was just like, I'm really not just neglecting my health and my well-being, but I'm affecting other people. And, you know, it turned into one of those things where, you know, one of my best friends, I was living with him in New York, he really pushed me to, you know, just change my tomorrow. And it started off with something like a week. I was going to do 2 months, and I was going to do 6 months, and I'm at like close to a year. Like, I'm about to hit a year in like a couple of days. Or like a couple of weeks, sorry. But it's one of those things where it was just like, I saw everything that happened after I picked sobriety. You know, like I saw my work start to change. People started to recognize it. Like before me, like people were like, yo, like what have you been doing different? Or why does your work look like this? And then looking at some of the work I did when I was fucked up versus some of the work that I do now that I'm sober, huge difference. And I was so blind of it. I don't know how, because it's right in front of my face. But it was like,
like you said, when you step back, it's like, it's crazy what you're
and it was just like, it was like my subconscious when I wasn't sober and I was painting, it was just a bunch of cluster-fucked backlog. It was just like, it was like I was telling 10 stories on one painting. And it's cool.
Right, and it's like there's ideas, but there's no like clear, concise ideas.
And,
you know what I mean?
And that's the thing as an artist, like, don't get me wrong, it looks nice because it looks like a madman just made this painting. But the ones that people gravitate to the most are the ones that people gravitate to way more than those are, you know, the ones that are a little bit more clear, the ones that make more sense, you know, where it's just like, instead of putting 10 different thoughts on one painting and calling it art, I would do one painting on one thought, and now I'm having a longer conversation on this piece because the person, they're a little bit, it's a little bit more relatable. So it's just like, you know, I definitely had that realization, and after that it was just like, it was a wrap. I was just like, like, I feel good being clean, and on top of that, my health got better. Like, I woke up with energy, you know, I lost a lot of weight. I started cooking now, so I gained a lot more. But yeah, but even besides that though, like, it was like, it's healthier weight. Like, back then I was like, I had a fucking beer belly because I killed like a bottle in a night. So it's just like, now it's just like, shit, now it's just a bunch of
at least you got good food in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, how do you navigate still being around folks or being in places, one, while you're sober, and two, like, how do you show up for those friends? You know, knowing that you can't really relate or like be on their type of time, but you're not trying to judge them either.
Of course. So it definitely was a lot harder. I think that in the beginning it was like, you know, going to a bar per se. You know, my friends would buy, there's 7 people, including myself, they'd buy 7 shots. I would feel like obligated to take that one shot. And it was just like, I didn't break sobriety when I started it. Like, cold turkey, I just stopped. And it was one of those things where it was just like, I did feel bad. I did feel, you know, like a pussy. You know, I felt like a bitch. But it was just like, it was one of those things where it was just like, that ended ended so fast. And it was like, I definitely had friends that stopped hitting me up because I stopped going out. And, you know, that just goes to show, like, I guess we weren't really friends, but whatever, that's fine. But the same way that I made a decision, I had people that were, you know, for the most part, I think I had a good group of people surrounding me. You know, I still have people that don't believe that I'm sober. Some people think that I've been, like, breaking the rules. Yeah, like, and it's fine. I don't think they know, but that's an insult. Because, you know, they're like, yeah, bro, like, you know, shut up, like, you know you be drinking. I'm like, no, bro, I'm being dead serious. But it's just like, it's little things like that where it's just like, it's okay. I don't take it to heart because it's not something that, I'm not doing it to please them. I'm doing it to please myself. But for the most part, you know, I still go to, like, I went to a fucking club the other day because one of my buddies, he's a rapper.
Sparkling cider.
So they'll get like, you know, chasers, and people be like, yo, you're just drinking all the fucking chasers, and I'm like,
yeah, let me take a shot of the orange juice.
I'll still do cheers, and that's the thing, like,
I'll participate in the culture, but I'm just not getting drunk.
And that's the thing, like, I also realized, like, not judging anybody that drinks, but I realized a lot of people just get, like, belligerent, like, drunk. But it's because, like, they're just anxious at the club. Like, I had that feeling.
Message.
Yeah, so it's just like, I was like,
it's anxiety, bro.
Oh, shit. And then I realized, like, fuck, bro, like, I gotta raw dog the club right now. Like, I gotta be here with nothing.
And watch all your homies be fully fucked up.
And that's the thing, like, it's cool now, though, because now I'm DD. So now everyone's
safe.
Yeah, everyone's safe.
Love that. 2,
I'm the one that picks what we're doing tonight. Like,
period.
Y'all are drunk now. Y'all are, this could be your car. Yeah, this is your car. motherfucker, we going where I want to go. Like,
exactly.
Y'all want McDonald's? Nah, I want Wendy's. Like, that's what I'm saying.
We
So,
just disagree, to disagree.
But it was one of those things where it was just like, it got easier. It got easier.
Yeah.
I go to the club now. Like, people still think.
And your friends get used to it too.
Yeah, my friends don't. My friends will literally like they'll pass me a drink. They'll be like, nah, bro, you don't drink. Like
I love
shit
that.
like that. So it's
that.
just like I have good friends. I got friends that like we're in the car and they're hotboxing. They know not to leave my window closed. Don't put me in no child lock if I'm sitting in the back seat. Like you about to give me anxiety with this weed.
Period.
But they'll be, they'll like naturally like, yo. And I'm like, bro, I don't smoke. For the most part, like I said, I don't have, I have a good set of friends. They support what I've done.
Good.
I still participate. They just know, don't give me no shot. Give me a little thing of orange juice. And like I'm talking about, people will pour me like little Coca-Cola shots.
Yeah.
And like I'm still like Hispanics do like barriba, bajo, pancento, and I'm the one fucking directing it when I got like Coca. I'm like, yo, barriba, and everybody's just like this.
With all the energy. I love
exactly.
that.
Exactly. Like I went to my friend's crib the other day. We were playing flip cup. And then like me and my homegirl, she don't drink either, or she's not drinking, I guess.
Okay.
We were pouring Coca-Cola in our cup. So everybody's just like playing flip cup, like taking these shots and just like, trying to flip the cup. And I'm over here like,
right, like it's nothing.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, like I said, I have a good set of friends. And,
that's good.
I'm lit off life, so I'm cool.
Would you consider yourself generally scatterbrained?
Absolutely. 110%.
Same.
I am the biggest scattered motherfucker ever. Like right now I'm just chilling. Because I have this seat. I don't know if you see. I keep going like this.
You like got a million things going on. I've adjusted myself like 50-11 times.
But it's weird. Whenever I'm with my art, I'm not as scatterbrained because I'm looking at my art. So
it's like a homing device.
Yeah. So it's just like. I did an interview in LA, I want to say like last year, 2 years ago, some shit like that. And in the interview, you just see me like playing with like a little water bottle cap. And I'm just like, I'm just like, it's all over the place. Like I'm looking everywhere and shit. But, here I'm just like, this is my zone. This is my zone.
That's good. That's why I didn't want to take you out your element.
No,
I wanted it to be here.
But, it's perfect.
But, so with that scatterbrain energy being said, I feel like most artists are to some extent.
Hell yeah.
Do you have any like habits or techniques that help you like organize your shit and like get it? Because apart from painting, it's like you gotta do scheduling and deadlines and like all the other shit. So
that's another one of my Chicos. Like I said, I got Chicos for days. I got so many.
Please rack them up. We need it.
So as an artist, just in general, I feel like we all go through like creative block, or we'll overthink, or we'll just get bored of working on something. Like I feel like people that have like ADHD, they get bored of doing this one thing for so long, so they'll want to do something else.
Right.
So you're in my cheat code right now. My cheat code is the 3 to 4 wall studio space. So it's just like, back when I had my studio in New York, it was a smaller studio, but I would have 2 walls. So it was like, I was always working on something, one wall, and then sometimes I would use my desk. Here, I have a 3 wall thing where it's just like, if I'm working on that and I don't want to finish it, and I just feel away from it,
just turn around.
Here. Oh yeah, I don't want to do that now? Okay. And it's just like, now my scatteredness is just it's a little bit more contained, and I know that there's 3 main things I'm doing right now. I try not to add anything else more than I have in this little corner. And then not only that though, because I'm a visual learner, I think it's really important to have a whiteboard and a calendar. I like my phone, but the phone doesn't do justice for me because I'm constantly like, I have like TikTok and Instagram.
All the distractions.
Yeah, so it's just like, the only thing I really use on my phone is like, maybe I'll use notes, But like even that, like I have a composition notebook, so it's just like I have things that are like, don't get me wrong, I love and respect the fact that I have a tool that has everything all in one, but it's not gonna help me. It's not gonna be good enough for me. So like that's why I have a composition notebook for my notes. I have my iPad for my drawings and my doodles. I have a whiteboard for ideas. You know, that's when I'm in my studio. You know, if I'm on the road, like composition notebook. So it's little things like that where it's just like it keeps me organized. But just writing these things out, you know, so I can check them off. And that's the thing. I think people kind of neglect the thought of like a diary or like a notebook and stuff like that. So it's just like it's important to have those because you're able to separate your thoughts, you know, but you're actually able to put them in front of you. And like if you don't do that, like you're gonna think about something else that's gonna float away.
So let's get into writers.
Writers.
Yeah. How have you ever dealt with anybody seemingly trying to copy your work?
Oh hell yeah! What?
And how do you handle that?
I forgot what the quote is, but imitation is the finest or
greatest form of flattery.
Greatest form of flattery. So it's like I've had people like try to like I've had people like comment under my post and be like, bro, you're jacking my style. And then I'll go to their page and it'll be like something that they did in like 2020. And then I'll just be like, what? Bro, like
stamps.
Bro, I can go back to 2015, bro. Like, the fuck are you talking about? And it's just like, you know, I don't really pay attention to it. Because at the end of the day, like, someone told me this recently, like, there's the it factor. So it's like if you think that I stole something from you, which I didn't, you know, if you try to take something from me, if it works for you, you have the it factor. So it's like I respect that. Like it's just, what am I gonna do? Like, you know, like, but if it works for me, like yeah. So it's just like, but that's the thing. Like it's just like, I feel like a lot of creatives now, it happens very often because, you know, we all have ideas. So like, I drew a brain. I'm not the first person that drew a fucking brain.
Right.
Like there's other people who've drawn brains before, and it's just like, there's been things like recently I saw this picture, this painting that I really really liked. This guy airbrushed. He drew like a girl standing up. I looked at it and I loved the painting. I loved it. I can't afford it, but I can draw my own. I can draw my own version of it.
Period.
But they're two completely different styles, two completely different colors. But it's just like, you know, honestly, like I appreciated his work so much that it was something that was stuck in my head that I had to like
inspired you, right?
Yeah. So it's just like the fact that I know that there are people there. Don't get me wrong, that will full on draw the things that I draw.
Right, like just fully copy.
And it's just like I think it's weird, but I don't let it get to me because at the end of the day, like, you know, I take it as a compliment. You know, I would never argue somebody. I only argue. Alright, so this is one guy commented under my shit. That's the one I started. Commented under my shit, and he's like, bro, you biting my style. And I'm like, bro, your first piece of art was like 2-3 years ago, bro. Like, bro, I've been doing this shit. Bro, I got pictures of my drawings when I was like fucking 7 years old.
I'm
like,
telling you,
so
like,
it's just like,
back.
you know, so it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's one of those things where it's just like, I don't, you know, there's fucking what, like 7.9 billion people in this world. I don't fucking care. Like, just don't draw exactly how I draw it. Draw your own version of it.
Exactly.
You know, like recently I saw, well, not recently, this is like a year and a half ago. I had seen someone that recreated a shirt that I had done, and it was very similar, and I had like a message of like this person appreciating the work. So I was just like,
So I'm like, pretty undeniable.
Alright, it's all good though. You know, I keep it moving because at the end of the day, like,
what's that fight gonna really do? You feel me? Like,
so it's like at the end of the day, like, did you make bread off of it? Because if you did, props to you. Because like at that point, like, you know, if it got you to a next step, like, you know, I can't promise you and tell you that doing something like that, you know, taking other people's steeds is gonna take you far. But shit, if it got you to where you were trying to go, if you mission accomplished, by all means. Yeah.
You know.
Nah, I don't let a lot of those things get to me. You know, at the end of it, I know that all the work I'm creating, it's coming from my soul. You know, even the one that I told you that I saw homeboys painting, I thought that shit was fire. I wanted to make my own version.
But you stole like an artist.
Yeah,
that's like this is a book I read too.
Nah, you read it? Yeah.
So you get it.
So it's like, you know, it's like I said, it's another thing if you're out here tracing shit. Hell no, I looked at a picture, I fucking drew my own version of it.
And that's so fire. Yeah. That's so fire. That's the best thing you can do. If anything, I feel like that's a respectful way of paying homage to that artist. Because it's not like you're gonna like show that piece like, oh, this just came to me. Like, you're like, no, I was inspired. Like you're telling me right now, like I was inspired by this dude.
I'm being public about it, you know?
Right, exactly.
I even have his, I even screenshotted his name. So it's just like if I were to ever like actually turn something into this,
right?
I pay my homage, you know. Like I feel like I know a lot of artists in the DMV, and you know I've inspired some have inspired me, and I'm very open with, you know, who inspires. Like I give their credits, you know. So like I know who pushed me to draw this, and you know I'll post a picture. I'll be like, inspired by, you know, like just I'm not saying that they're gonna be out here and hunting for me if I fucking post a picture, but I do it because I know where I got
just to know, there's no like weirdness there.
I'm come in peace.
That's good. For real. So as I was talking to you earlier before the cameras came on, I was saying you're like a merch goat, like you do all the things, coats, clothes, stuffed animals, paintings, etc. Is there anything you haven't made that you want to make?
So much,
What?
Blimp. I want to make a blimp. Yeah. I want to make a blimp.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy because that's probably the last thing I would have. Yeah. But that would be epic.
I want to make a blimp.
A three-headed Dieglo blimp.
Yeah, some shit like that.
That'd be nuts.
I want to do a blimp. I want to do
Macy's Day Parade status.
Yeah, Macy's Day Parade. I want to do that. I want to build a building. I want to create my own building.
Didn't you like briefly go to school for architecture?
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Briefly is right.
2 weeks and I dropped.
Okay, so that's circling back.
Yeah,
that
so
interest.
I do still want to do that at some point.
That's tight.
I want to design my own home when I get the funds for it. I want to design I'm talking about from the fucking driveway to the stones walking up to the house. Like I want it to be I forgot what artist it was, but there was an artist that
you go crazy with plants and stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
What else do I want to do? I want to make a fountain at some point. I definitely want to do more sculptures this year. Sculptures are so expensive. Yeah. It's just where would I keep it if I don't sell it? You know. So it's just once I get this funding, let me get some good funding.
Yeah. Some grants.
I'm taking over, yo. But yeah, definitely I want to do more home appliances.
Well, you better start making refrigerators.
Nah, for real, shit
no,
like that.
So
like something like that, but or not home appliances, what would you call silverware? That's not
cutlery?
Nah.
Or
what would you call home?
I hear you though. Home goods.
You run the home goods?
Home goods, I guess.
I want Dieglo goods, something like that.
That's crazy.
That's just I want to make
Okay.
You ever been to Fogo de Chao?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever been to any of those restaurants that have the engravement on the fucking silverware?
Yeah.
So I want to do something like that. I want to do my own engraving. I did a ring, so I want to do some my own.
Oh, what? That's so crazy.
So I want to do shit like that, but on the actual silverware.
Yeah.
What else do I want to do? Just thousands.
That's so cool.
I have notebooks full of ideas.
I bet.
And it's just like, you know, some I do from time to time.
Not you getting a deal with IKEA. Let's put that into existence.
IKEA, holla at me.
No
IKEA.
bullshit.
Nah, yo, but definitely
Crazy.
at some point.
Okay, 2 more questions and I'm done.
Hell yeah, we're good.
All right. So, speaking of like other artists gaining inspiration and also like validation from consumers of art is amazing, but validation from artists on art is like next level.
Hell
you
yeah.
feel me?
Nah,
So, are there any artists in the area that have either mentored you or just kind of really supported you in your art in general?
Yeah. There's 2 big artists that they're big influences, you know, in where my art has gone, and you know, there are people I don't talk to on a daily basis, but like every time I see them, it's love, and it's just like these are people that really, you know, they pushed my work in their own way.
Yeah.
But I had the pleasure of working with Chris Pirate. He was helping me out for a very long time. I worked with him for like 3 years, something like that, when I had first started.
Nice.
And
Wow.
yeah, he was like real live, like
He's seen it.
He definitely like he got me my first collab with like Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I was like, I think I was like 21, 22 when it happened. So it's like, you know, he definitely saw something in my work, and you know, he had like my first, like one of my first shows, and it was just like I said, he put me on to like some of the people that I still work with today. So it's just like, you know, he definitely opened a bunch of doors for me.
That's amazing.
You know? And then
Shout out Chris.
yeah, shout out Chris. And then Martin Amini, he's the owner and excuse me, he's the owner of Room 808. He's like he's a comedian from the area, and found me on Twitter. Someone just, you know, told him like he was looking for an artist, and then he had like reached out to me, and he let me design the entire Room 808. So like
I need to make it there. I've
You
seen like pictures, but I haven't physically.
It's a lot of fun. I got my third guy.
No, you're good. You've been rapping like shit.
But it was one of those things where it was just like he also opened the doors for me, and a lot of my you know, art sales, they come from Room 808, whether it's people buying directly paintings from there or people buying things from the catalog. Yeah. So he definitely opened a bunch of doors for me. And on top of that, like, you know, if you like all Room 808 TikToks, and he has a bunch of like, you know, he's a big comedian himself, but he has a bunch of other big comedian friends. They're always like posting videos at Room 808.
Right.
And my name is smack in the middle of every video. So it's just like I like constantly, like I'm talking about on a weekly basis, I probably get tagged maybe like 2 to 3 times. That's minimum. Right. He's opened that door with, you know, with a bunch of the sales. And then the person I've been working with a lot lately, like one-on-one, is Brian Bailey.
I met him recently. He's really nice.
Yeah, so he's a really talented artist. He's very involved too. That's the thing. Like, you know, there's a lot of talented artists, but he's very involved. So like, I'm talking about, he'll hit me up like, "Hey, bro, you want to do this?" And then like, knows all the moves. Yeah, like we just got paid by Amazon for like to work with like DC public schools.
What?
Yeah, it was I got to work with like a 4th grade class, and it was just like we made a mural.
That's
cool. For the Cherry Blossom Festival actually. Yeah, so we got to do that, and but those are three, you know, solid DMV heads. Yeah. That, and then there's so many more. The list continues. You know.
No, there's stupid amount of talent in this area in general, but it's always, I just want to put a highlight on, you know, us supporting each other. You know, it's like, you know, it's all lovely competition. You know, absolutely. It's not no dog eat dog out here.
You know, I got mad love for, you know, Chris, Martin, and Brian. You know, they definitely have a big impact on, you know, my artistry, and you know, it's like I said, and they're artists themselves, so it's just like You know, at least Chris and Brian, you know, they're actually painters. Like,
Right.
they could have just kept that shit to themselves, and you know, but nah,
Yeah.
they be putting me on. So you know, it's all
That's
love and respect
major.
from them, man.
Definitely.
But-
And so my last question would be like, most artists, you know, like we were talking earlier about like prices, like you kind of have to be realistic based on where you are in that moment and then adjust accordingly.
Of course.
So there's a lot of times where you do stuff for free or you just do stuff for the homies because you fuck with them, you know, like, and I think that kind of love is very important.
Hell
And it
yeah.
doesn't take away from like valuing your art and
Of
also
course.
putting that price tag on it. But how do you navigate that and like decide when it's too much? Like if you do something for the love and then it turns into you feel like you're being taken advantage of. You know, like where you draw the line?
So I always think that anytime you do anything, there's always an exchange, regardless. Whether it's an exchange of appreciation, an exchange of experience, or the common one, you exchange money.
Yeah, right.
So those are three different things that I really pay attention to when I'm doing something. So it's like sometimes there's jobs that come upon, you know, my schedule that it's just like, yo, you're not about to get paid for this. But then I realize I'm like, okay, what can I get out of this that makes it worth, you know, the time? Because like I said, I have 1,000 other things that I'm working on.
Right.
But I like, you know, don't get me wrong, I love money. I love getting paid for my money. I love getting paid for my art. For my money.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Whatever. We get it.
But you know, there's other times where I'll get, you know, per se content of me doing something. Like it's like if it's a big wall, it's like Artomatic. Artomatic, you know, I didn't get paid for that, but it's one of my biggest murals right now. I get
and everyone's been taking pictures, videos.
Everybody, like I
Hopscotch.
get, yeah, and I just did the hopscotch.
Yeah.
And I get tagged on it, you know, almost every single day, like multiple times a day.
Nice.
And it's things like that where it's just like, I know that my name got bigger just because of that mural. And it's just like that was all my paint. I got some paint from them, but like the majority of it is little things like that. Which
it
is
was an
like,
investment. Yeah.
So I don't mind like not getting paid for things sometimes because like, don't get me wrong, like hell yeah, if I can get paid for everything I do.
Like obviously, yeah. But it is a delicate balance.
As long as it's not you're not breaking your back trying to, you know, help them out. And, you know, because it has to make sense for you, of course, you know. You don't want to do something where it's just like you said, you are getting taken advantage of. But you know, there's definitely times that you have to nickel and dime, but there's also, you know, you just have to figure
time
it
and
out.
place,
Of
for
course.
sure.
But
For sure.
no, yeah.
But thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Such sage advice from such a young buck.
Thank you.
That's crazy. Crazy to me. But yeah, I think we're done, bro. I'm